MIUSA's vast array of programs that exist all over the world began with one simple question: why aren't there more people with disabilities having a life-changing international experience? The answer was twofold.
There needs to be an organization whose goal is to increase the number of people with disabilities in all types of exchange: high school, youth, professional, volunteer, Peace Corps, Fulbright, and others. People with disabilities need to be sharing ideas and strategies across borders so they can become leaders of change and so they can really strengthen their own organizations.
In 1981, MIUSA was co-founded by Susan Siegel and Barbara Williams to make this dream a reality. MIUSA pioneered inclusive, short-term international exchange programs for people with and without disabilities who are now part of MIUSA's global family. Over 2,000 alumni from over 100 countries. Our unique programs focus on youth, parents, professionals, and women in a world where people with disabilities commonly face discrimination, barriers, and isolation, especially as they become leaders. People from all over the world come together to share information, stories, and strategies to find innovative ways to make changes in their communities. They embrace the motto of challenge yourself and change the world.
Isam Kamal from Bahrain. In 1983, I attended MIUSA's very first International Community Service Exchange program in Eugene, Oregon. Since then, our dream has become reality. Together, we have held several professional and youth exchanges between the US and Bahrain, building friendships and breaking down barriers. As a result of these programs over many years, youth leaders with disabilities in Bahrain formed a disability leadership group which was visited by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton last year.
Haben Girma from the US, who is deaf-blind. My first volunteer experience abroad was during my sophomore year of high school when I traveled to Mali, West Africa to help build a school. After traveling on my own to Italy and Greece, I participated in Mobility International's US-Costa Rica Disability Rights Leadership Exchange, an experience that has furthered my desire to study disability rights. I am now the first deaf-blind student at Harvard Law School. Megan Smith from the US, who has cerebral palsy. MIUSA transformed my life. When I was a teenager wanting to go abroad, lots of programs didn't accept people with disabilities, or they had no way to make accommodations. And then I found MIUSA. They gave me a list of organizations with the kind of programs I wanted. I turned Sweet 16 on my flight to Peru. Since then, I have traveled to 21 countries. MIUSA gave me the confidence I needed to do it. And today, I am a young professional working for MIUSA, and my job is making these empowering and transformative experiences possible for other people with disabilities. From living with homestay families to participating in community service projects. From climbing ropes high in the treetops to rafting down rapids. From interactive workshops on parenting to seminars on political processes. From utilizing the media for creating positive images of our aspirations, to forming action plans to revolutionize what is possible for people with disabilities. This is what MIUSA exchange programs are all about. The MIUSA exchange experience changes each of us. On a personal level by developing self-confidence, on a political level by developing a rights-based philosophy, and on a global level by networking with disability groups around the world. By building bridges between the international exchange and disability communities, MIUSA has enabled thousands of people with disabilities to broaden their horizons by studying, volunteering, and working abroad. Dreams become reality. A young woman who uses a wheelchair will teach English in Central America. A college student who is blind will study in Germany. a young professional who is deaf will be a Fulbright scholar in Italy. A young woman with a physical disability from Russia will attend high school in the US. MIUSA is changing the face of international exchange to ensure people with disabilities have the same rights and opportunities. Sharing information and strategies with activists creates a cross-cultural environment where new ideas flourish. Together with our alumni, we began working to include people with disabilities in every sector of international development, such as civil society, education, health, HIV/AIDS, and women's rights. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to Bogota, Colombia, from Amman, Jordan, to Tirana, Albania. MIUSA's trainings have changed the paradigm of international development by framing the inclusion of people with disabilities as a human rights issue. MIUSA has worked intensively with development and humanitarian organizations to turn standards on disability inclusion into policy and practice. Because empowerment of women is integral to who we are and what we do, one of our unique attributes is that we naturally work with a gender lens. Our Women's Institute on Leadership and Disability programs bring together new and emerging grassroots women leaders with disabilities from around the world to build skills, exchange experiences and strategies, create new visions, and strengthen international networks of support. These wild women truly are changing the world as they return to their countries with new tools and a commitment to address issues of critical importance to women and girls with disabilities. Beatriz Satisabal from Colombia, who has a physical disability. I am a woman with a physical disability, and I am proud of that. I have been working with international organizations for the rights of children with disabilities and also conducting leadership training for disabled women. Working with my colleagues at a law university, we were able to convince the government to make laws in order to protect the rights of people with disabilities in displacement. Ekete Umo from Nigeria, who has a physical disability. Since WILD, we have been able to get development agencies and embassies to identify with our work, especially on the issues of reproductive health rights of women with disabilities and disability in HIV/AIDS. I must say, WILD has succeeded in raising strong and dynamic women who are assertive enough to engage their leaders to promote the issues of women and girls with disabilities. I am such an example. My level of confidence has tripled since WILD. Karine Grigorian from Armenia, who has cerebral palsy. The WILD program changed my life completely. After WILD, I went home and wanted to change everything. I decided to start my own organization mentoring young disabled women to be leaders, as well as utilizing international law and policy to build an active and educated disability rights movement.
We are a part of a great family of people with disabilities and allies, working together to share our experiences so that those who follow may have a wider and easier path to achieving their human rights. By celebrating the past, we begin to embrace the future and all the possibilities that it holds. MIUSA's amazing accomplishments since 1981 have been made possible by our wonderful staff, donors, partners, host families, and alumni around the world.
We are only limited by our ability to dream of what is possible. At Mobility International USA, there is no shortage of dreams.